At least 4 Palestinians, including an elderly woman, have been killed in an Israeli military raid in Jenin in the occupied West Bank, Palestinian officials say. The Israeli army has released few details, but Israeli media say that it acted to foil what it described as a major attack by militants. The Israeli military earlier confirmed that an operation was underway and that the Palestinian armed groups Hamas and Islamic Jihad said they were fighting Israeli troops there. Reports from the refugee camp in the area say that Palestinians shot down an Israeli army drone. Meta is to reinstate the Facebook and Instagram accounts of former US President Donald Trump. He was suspended 2 years ago over posts praising people who stormed Congress in an attempt to overturn his election defeat. Our North America correspondent Peter Bowes has more details.
The attack on Congress when supporters of Donald Trump tried to stop the certification of Joe Biden's election victory. While it was going on, the then president posted a video on Facebook and Instagram expressing his support for the rioters. And then in another post, he repeated false claims about fraudulent voting during the 2020 election. Initially, he was banned from the platforms indefinitely. Facebook later said it would review its decision after 2 years.
If I run and if I win, we will treat those people from January 6th fairly.
Ever since Donald Trump announced he was running for the White House again, there's been growing pressure on Meta from the former president's supporters to reinstate the Facebook and Instagram accounts where he had more than 50 million followers. Meta's Nick Clegg said a review had found that Mr. Trump's accounts no longer represented a serious risk to public safety and that he would be allowed to return in the coming weeks. We've put new guardrails in place to deter repeat offences. The public should be able to hear what politicians are saying so they can make informed choices. The former president's response was typically bullish. Facebook, which has lost billions of dollars in value since deplatforming your favourite president, me, has just announced that they are reinstating my account. Such a thing should never again happen to a sitting president or anybody else who is not deserving of retribution.
What this means is that by giving Donald Trump access to the largest social media platform in the world, he has the most access that he's had since before January 6th for calls to action. And this is just simply a risky move.
But will Donald Trump actually return to Facebook or Instagram? Even though he's been allowed back on Twitter by Elon Musk, the former president hasn't posted anything there yet. In the coming months, the race to become the Republican nominee to fight the 2024 election will intensify. And given the reach and power of Meta's social networks, the platforms could prove irresistible. Peter Bowes, BBC News, Los Angeles.
And joining me now is Zoe Kleinman, our technology editor. Zoe, hello to you. Tell us more about why Meta, the owner of Facebook and Instagram, has made this decision. And they're also talking about new guardrails that are in place around this decision. What does that mean?
Meta has been under a lot of pressure to make decisions about this for quite some time. There were many people who thought that Donald Trump should never have been banned from Facebook, or indeed banned for that long. And Meta was one of the last social networks actually to ban him, precisely because Mark Zuckerberg, who is its CEO and founder, had always said, we need to hear what these politicians are saying, whether you like it or not. You know, he was then the president of the United States, and you have a right, the world has a right to hear what he's saying. When he was banned indefinitely, there were a lot of sort of people saying, well, hang on, you know, why would you do that for that period of time? And even Meta's own oversight board, which is an independent body that it set up to review these controversial decisions, had said that it wanted it to be reviewed after 2 years. Well, that's what's happened now. However, you can hear the caution that's in Meta's tone when it says, if he does anything again to flout the terms and conditions, he will be banned again, suspended for a period of either 1 month going up to 2 years, depending on what it is. If he talks about delegitimizing the elections or about things like the notorious conspiracy group QAnon, then those posts will not be distributed. So they'll be published, but nobody will see them. They won't pop up in people's feeds. There won't be ads around them. People won't be able to share them. So it's obvious that while he's being welcomed back, there's also going to be a very close eye kept on what he's doing, because he is a dynamite figure. He is controversial. He does say things that cause a lot of emotion and upset and delight a lot of people. He's very, very engaging, which is great for Meta because it wants all of these eyeballs to be looking at what he's saying. But he's also very, very divisive, and they have to tread that line between him being a popular figure that people like to engage with, whether they love him or loathe him, and also him staying not only within their terms and conditions, but also within the laws of the countries in which they operate.
Yeah, of course, Donald Trump, since the Capitol riots, has set up his own platform, Truth Social. He, as Peter was mentioning in his report, hasn't engaged with Twitter since he was allowed back on that platform. So will he engage with Facebook and Instagram? Obviously, huge numbers of people use those platforms, but now he's got his own one. Will there be a dilemma for him there?
Oh, this is an enormous problem for Donald Trump, and it's getting bigger the more he gets sort of invited back in out of the cold, if you like. He kind of set up Truth Social, I think one could say, out of spite. You know, I don't need Meta, I don't need Twitter, I'm going to set up my own, and it's going to be brilliant. You know, in true Trump bombastic style, along comes Truth Social. Well, it hasn't been that brilliant. We understand there are about 5 million users of it. We don't know how active all of them are. He certainly is very active on it, and he's actually contractually obliged to post on it first. So if he does go back on Facebook or on Twitter before he's posted on Truth Social, he could find himself in hot water. So he's got not only reputation, but also money at stake here. However, that said, you know, 5 million users versus the nearly 3 billion that are on Facebook now, they're going to be incredibly irresistible. And he's going to have to think extremely hard, I think, about where his loyalties are going to lie now.
OK, Zoe, thank you very much. Zoe Kleinman, our technology editor.